Consider.
Consider.
Consider. Consider.
Consider.
My name is Randy Stinnett. I've been a member of LifePoint Church since I was a little kid. My parents were one of the first couples or first families that branched off from CCG over to LifePoint. I got baptized at the old building, Community Church of Southport, when I was about 12 years old. I was involved with youth groups and just really involved in church at a younger age. When I started to grow a little bit older, and after high school, I definitely, there was a point where I didn't really, wasn't involved in church. I kind of rebelled against my parents a little bit, and I did that for quite some time. I lived and walked in quite a bit of sin, secret sin, and even up into my late 20s and early 30s. About a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, I decided to move my girlfriend in. Her name's Stacy, and we both thought that was the right decision to do. Our parents didn't really agree with that. She was brought up in a Christian home just like I was, and we still kind of did our own thing and thought that would be a decision that would work out for us. I didn't have to go all the way to the east side to her house, and we just thought that we would become closer that way. And sure enough, about 6 months in to us living together, things started to kind of fade away a little bit for me. It kind of scared me because before we talked about moving in together, we had definitely discussed marriage and had talked about that, and at that point, at that 6 months, I was wondering why I hadn't asked her by then, and I just knew that timing just wasn't right, and I just was scared, and I was just wondering why I was falling away and falling apart from her. And we talked about it a little bit, and I just began to pray about it. And at that point, about a year and a half ago, I definitely felt the Holy Spirit moving in my life, because those nights I just continued to pray and just ask the Lord what I could do, and He definitely moved in my life. And at that point, I knew that I had to make a pretty difficult decision for both me and Stacy. I knew that He was moving me to move Stacy out of my home. We weren't really doing things the way God had planned us to do. We were living in sin there, living together, not being married. So we talked about that, discussed that, and I was quite honestly very scared to do that, to make that decision, and I fought it. I fought it for quite some time, but I finally just made the decision, and I felt like the Lord was moving in my life to help me make that decision, to lay it in His hands, and I moved Stacy out. The night that I moved her out, it was like the last truckload she was getting ready to take home and moved back in with her parents, which wasn't a great thing, so don't ask her about that one. She prayed for us in my bedroom, and you could just feel Him just talking to us when she was praying, and she ended up leaving. I definitely cried a lot that night. My dad came over, and he prayed for me, and cried a little bit more. We decided to take about a week apart just to get our feelings together, and I took that week and I just grew in my faith by praying, and the Lord was definitely moving in my life for that week. And to make a long story short, we got back together, we dated, we did things the way God's purpose was for us. I ended up asking Stacy to marry me, December 21st of 2013. We then went through premarital counseling with Pastor Jim, and May 23rd of this year, Pastor Jim married us, and Stacy moved back into my house. And we just felt so blessed this year, and we felt that God was just blessing our relationship and moving in us. And the beginning of this year, a good friend of mine at the church, Matt Gast, asked me to be in a Fundamentals of Faith class that Andy Schmidt, one of the elders, was teaching. Stacy and I joined a life group, Katie and Ryan Smith's life group, and all these things are just God drawing us near to Him and moving in our lives. And it's just been the most freeing experience that I've ever had.